Older people are still dealing with professional discrimination and ageism. Women are still dealing with sexism in the workplace.
What was missing from the conversation about the Golden Girls that made you feel like this specific book had to exist?
We both loved the Golden Girls. We wanted to actually be able to teach it within the context of television history. When we get into the 90s and even the 2000s, we see that the Golden Girls is actually being used as a way to hail female audiences. It was also a show that was syndicated on Logo as a way to hail queer audiences as well. The Golden Girls and Mama's Family are shows that have that kind of queer sensibility without necessarily being about queer representation.
Can you guys talk a little bit more about the themes behind the Golden Girls show and what makes the show so timeless?
Ages well in part because it's still so culturally relevant. It also ages well because, frankly, it's still hysterical.
The writers of the Golden Girls were writing what I would call an emerging adult series. There was a way that these four old white ladies dealing with these issues, like, I just got out of college and I'm dealing with this. There's a way that the Golden Girls always feels like it's right on time rather than being a relic of the time. If we still had those actresses today, all we had to do was change the set and change their costumes, and those scripts still work.
What's one thing about the show's kind of production DNA that this book uncovers that even the biggest superfans of Golden Girls might not know?
I never imagined that there was a Black person writing on the show. I went to the Jet magazine and Ebony magazine archives and typed in Golden Girls to see what I would find. The only thing I found was Winifred Hervey's wedding announcement. And it was like, Winifred Hervey, a writer on the Golden Girls. And I was like,
In between each of our sections, we have interviews with the producers, the creators, and other creative talent on the show. Some people thought it was just going to be like a gossip book. And so they picked it up, and what they did instead is they got this really deeply engaged, very smart, very focused study on a show that they weren't expecting.
When you guys were writing this book, who were the ideal individuals that you wanted to be reading this book?
On the one hand, it is just smart humans who like media and popular culture.
I would say the bigger audience of the book is people who are interested in studying television in a very deep way, thinking about how television as a media form interacts with, shapes, and has power over the culture and what that means. This book helps you to understand about how power moves in our world and think about how something as simple as a sitcom from the 1980s can still change lives in a fundamental way, and studying it in a deeper way